Hello everyone. In the previous video, we had discussed about correspondent bank and started off with NRI banking. As discussed, Indians who stay abroad are classified into NRIs, PIOs, and OCIs. The non-resident Indians, person of Indian origin, and overseas citizens of India. The PIO scheme was withdrawn by the government from January 2015. In today's video, we will discuss about different type of accounts that can be held by NRIs and the different banking facilities that can be available by them. Welcome to Brilliant Bankers, your channel for IIBF specialization exams. Today, we will be going through the part 2 of Unit 3 in Correspondent Banking and NRI accounts. So what are the different type of accounts that can be opened by an NRI or a OCI? It can be classified into 4 types. It's NRE, NRO, FCNR, and SNRR accounts. NRE and NRO accounts, that is non-resident external rupee account and non-resident ordinary rupee account, both are maintained in the currency of rupee. FCNR account, this is the foreign currency non-resident account. To this account, as mentioned, it is maintained in the foreign currency. The customer believes that he will be always transacting. SNRR, this is a special non-resident rupee account. Now let's know what are these accounts. NRE accounts, non-resident external rupee account. It is maintained in Indian rupee denomination. Pakistan and Bangladesh nationalities can open this account only with an RBI consent. What are the type of accounts that can be opened in NRE account? In NRE account, the type of accounts that can be opened are all CASA type and FD and RD, the term deposits. So CASA is current account, saving account. FD, RD is the fixed deposits and the recurring deposits, for which the minimum period is 1 year. The rate of interest granted for this type of accounts is as per the discretion of the bank, but the interest rates will never be more than that of the domestic interest rates that are being given by the bank. Operations of this account, it can be jointly operated by NRIs and or PIOs with an Indian relative who is in India on a former survivor basis. So it can be operated as a joint account by a relative who is in India. And who is a relative? It is defined in the Companies Act. We had discussed about this in the previous video. On change of the residence status of the NRI, when the NRI returns back to India to reside permanently with his parents or take care of business over in his own village, then this account will be converted to an RFC account, resident foreign currency account. What are the permitted debits and credits of a NRE account? In NRE account, the credits that are permitted to this account are all inward remittances from outside India. The interest accruing on the account and the interest on investment transfer from other NRE or FCNR accounts are all the credits that are permitted. Other than this, the maturity proceeds of investments that has been made, current income like rent, dividend, pension, interest, etc., will be constructed as permissible credit in an NRE account, provided the authorized dealer who has opened the account is satisfied with the credit represents current income of the NRI or the PIO account holder, and income tax thereon has been deducted or paid for whatever the case may be. Income tax for all these are to be paid via the TDS or directly by the customer itself. What are the permitted debits? All local disbursements, remittances outside India, transfer to any other account like the any other NRI or FCNR accounts, and any investments in India are permitted by the in these accounts. What are the other facilities that are provided to NRI account members? They are issued with checkbook, full repatriation of deposit amount, including the interest permitted. Maturity proceeds can be transferred to another NRI or FCNR account with the same or another bank if desired by the depositor. Nomination facilities are available in the account. Maturity proceeds will be transferred in a whole or can be transferred in a whole. Income by the way of interest is exempt from tax. The residents can operate the account on the basis of a power of attorney granted by the account holder himself through the banking channels. Banks may allow a temporary overdrawing of rupees 50,000 in NRI saving account. These are the few facilities that are being provided in NRI account. Coming to NRO account. NRO account means it's a non-resident ordinary rupee account. It is also maintained in the Indian rupee denomination. The same consent of NRE account also applies for NRO account in case of Pakistan and Bangladesh nationalities. That is the permission or the consent has to be taken from the RBI. The type of accounts that are maintained is also similar, the CASA and term deposits for a minimum period of 1 year. The receipts can be in Indian and foreign currency. In the case of NRI accounts, the receipts was in foreign currency. In the case of NRO account, the receipts can be in Indian and foreign currency, but the withdrawal will be only in Indian currency and is not freely repatriated into foreign currency. In the case of NRE, it is freely repatriated. In case of NRO, it is not freely repatriated. Operations. It is the same as it was in the NRA account. The joint accounts can be opened by NRIs and or PAOs or by NRI oblique PAO with an Indian relative on a former or survivor basis. Amount can be transferred easily from a NRE to NRO account. The interest that is given in this type of account in NRO account is not accepted from tax. So TDS is deductible but free to repatriate the amount. The interest is freely repatriable. The principal amount can be repatriated up to a maximum of $1 million in a financial year after all the applicable taxes. So what are the permissible credits, debits and other facilities that are being provided to NRO accounts? The permissible credits are the inward remittances from outside India, all estimated dues in India and transfers from other NRO accounts, and all permissible credits that were available in the NRO accounts. Rupee gift or loan made by a resident to an NRI or PAU relative within the limits prescribed from the LRS scheme may be credited to the latest NRO accounts. What are permissible debits? The account can be debited for the purpose of local payments, transfers to other NRO accounts, or remittances of current income abroad. Apart from these, balances in the NRO account can be repatriated by the account holder up to $1 million in a financial year, as we had discussed earlier itself. Funds can similarly be transferred to NRE accounts within an overall limit of $1 million in a financial year. So this is the same clause. It can be repatriated abroad or to an NRE account, but the maximum limit is $1 million in a financial year. What are other facilities? where an account is opened of a foreign tourist on his temporary visit, the balance is held in the account by way of remittance from abroad or conversion of foreign currency can be converted back into foreign currency and paid to the account holder, provided the account is maintained for a period not exceeding 6 months. When a resident of India becomes a non-resident Indian, his existing resident account should be immediately converted into a NRO account. NRO accounts may be designated as resident accounts on the return of the account holder to India for any purpose, indicating his intention to stay in the country for an uncertain period. Nomination facilities are available in NRO accounts also. All the powers has been delegated to the authorized dealers or the authorized banks to allow operations on an NRO account in terms of power of attorney granted in favor of a resident by the non-resident individual account holder, provided such operations are restricted to local payments and remittances to the account holder. Coming to the next type, FCNRB accounts, foreign currency non-resident bank accounts. As we discussed about NRE and NRO accounts, we were dealing with Indian currency. But FCNR, it is dealt with a foreign currency account. And each and every NRI person who is opening a FCNR account should open it in an AD1 category bank, authorized dealer 1 category banks. It can be opened and maintained by NRI in any freely convertible currency. What is a freely convertible currency? Freely convertible currencies are the US dollars, euros, Australian dollar, etc. What are the type of accounts that can be opened? This is just opposite from NRI or NRE. Here only term deposit can be opened for a minimum period of 1 year and a maximum of 5 years and repaid in the country or currency of issue. So term deposits for a minimum period of 1 year and for a maximum period of 5 years, and it will be repaid in the currency in which it was opened. Can there be any joint account holders? Yes, joint account holders can be opened by NRIs and PAOs or by NRI or big PAO with an Indian relative on former or survivor basis, which is common in all the three. What are the permitted debits and credits in it? As we don't have any recurrent credits to the account, so as it is open as a term deposit account, the credit is during opening and the debit is during the maturity of the account. There is no recurrent transaction happening in this account. So since it's a term deposit, you open and close it. That's it. The other facilities, there is no exchange rate risk in this kind of account. The repatriation of principal amount along with the interest is permanent. The interest on the deposit shall be paid on a compounded half-yearly rate and paid yearly. So half-yearly will be calculated in 180 days interval and yearly will be calculated in a 360 days interval. So each and every time there is a compounding, it will be done in 180 days interval. Nomination facilities are available for the kind of account. The interest income is exempted from TDS. Forward cover can be booked to hedge the balance held in the FCNR accounts. Regarding the premature withdrawal, no interest if these deposits are pre-closed before 1 year, and if after 1 year, interest at the date of opening will be given to the account holders. So if it is premature before the period of 1 year, no interest will be granted to the account holder. And if it is after 1 year, the interest at the date of opening is to be granted for all FCNR account holders. Now, what are the other facilities that are granted to NRIs. They are allowed to invest in India as per the regulations of FEMA 2000, the Foreign Exchange Management Act 2000. NRIs can freely invest in shares and securities of Indian companies on repatriation or non-repatriation basis as direct investment in shares or debentures offered by companies or through portfolio investment scheme. The NRIs can also invest in securities other than share and convertible debentures. Non-resident Indians have been allowed to invest in India in various securities and schemes so that the previous precious foreign exchange earned by them is made available for the development of the country. The NRIs investment are regulated by the regulations prescribed by the FEMA Act 2000 as amended from time to time. These regulations cover the issuance of security by an Indian company or entity to a person resident outside India and a purchase and sale of security by a person resident outside India. So, what is investment in shares? Investment by NRIs can be done broadly in two types, the repatriation and non repatriation. So, these are the types of investments. On repatriation basis, purchases on shares, bonds, securities by funds from abroad or by debit of NRE or FCNR accounts can be done. You have learned that the NRE and FCNR accounts can be debited. Coming to this topic detail, non-resident Indian, being an Indian citizen, as also a foreign citizen of Indian origin, are permitted to freely invest in shares or convertible debentures of Indian companies, carrying on almost any kind of business in India, barring a few segments wherein prior approval of the RBI is necessary. These investments may be made on a repatriation basis or a non-repatriation. Repatriation is governed by various investment caps and ceilings. Investments on repatriable basis can be made in shares, bonds, securities from the funds brought from abroad in a freely convertible currency or by debit of the NRE or FCNR account of the investor. General permission has been granted under the exchange regulations to any person resident outside India to purchase equity or preference shares or convertible debentures of an Indian company, subject to conditions and industry or company investment caps as stipulated in time to time. So, to continue the same thing, what are the investment in shares of securities? Investment in shares and securities have been further classified under the following categories. They are investment under foreign direct investments, investment under portfolio investment scheme, the purchase and sale of shares on non-repatriable basis, purchase and sale of securities other than the shares or convertible debentures of an Indian company. What are the other type of investments a NRI can go for in the Indian market? That are, they can purchase the units of UTI or any mutual funds on repatriable as well as non-repatriable basis. They can go for a company fixed deposit on a non-repatriable basis, such investments being credited to their NRO accounts on maturity of the fixed deposits. Investment in partnership or proprietorship firm, so they can go for all types of investment. They can also purchase a immovable property, but there is a condition in the case of immovable property that they can't go for agricultural purchase or a farmland purchase or a real estate business. Citizens of Pakistan, China, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Sri Lanka, Iran, Nepal, Bhutan, Macau, and Hong Kong. These 10 countries cannot purchase a property without permission from the RBI. In any cases, people mentioned in from these countries cannot purchase a property, or a NRA from this country cannot purchase a property without the permission of RBI. The only thing is that they can take a building or an area on lease for a maximum of 5 years. Advance to non-residents. Non-residents also require loan facilities for different things or the businesses that they are going to carry on in India. So loans include all fund-based and non-fund-based loans. Fund-based is totally clear. Non-fund-based is something like the letter of credit and other things below. It is granted to an account holder or the third party. The loan can be taken by the account holder, or on the basis of the deposit of the account holder, it can be given to a third party on a guarantee basis. The main condition is that this loan is not to be taken for relending, farming, or investment in a real estate purpose. These loans cannot be repatriated outside India and is to be used only for the specified purposes only. If the loan is sanctioned to a third party, there should be no direct or indirect consideration of foreign exchange for the non-resident depositor. In case of the account holder, it can be repaid by adjusting the deposits or through inward remittances from outside India through banking channels. No premature withdrawal if loans are provided, so no deposits can be closed prematurely if there is any loan on the same. Housing loans that are being given to the non-residents. Banks may grant housing loan to non-resident Indians for acquisition of residential accommodation in India, subject to some conditions. The quantum of loan, margin money, and the period of repayment shall be same as applicable for the resident Indian. The loan amount shall not be credited to the NRI or FCNR accounts. The loan shall be fully secured by equitable mortgage of the property that has been proposed to be acquired, and if necessary, also by lien of the borrower's other assets in India. Repayment shall be by remittance from abroad or by debiting NREs, FCNRB, or the NRO account of the customer, or by rental income derived from renting out of the property. There are a few prohibitions. They are prohibited transactions for the NRIs. They are the purchase of agricultural property or plantations and farmhouse, in dealing with real estate, trading in timed up transferable development rights, opening a PPF account, contribution towards the government linked schemes like the NSEs, National Savings Scheme, and intraday trading in securities in Indian stock market or short selling of any stocks. So that's it for the day, and that's it for the unit. In the next video, we will be starting off with the letter of credit. I have already posted a small video on letter of credit. I think it will just give you an introduction on the subject matter. Any queries or any doubts on this video can be updated in the comment section. Please do like, subscribe, and share our videos to all your friends. This is Nishant signing off. Thank you. Have a good day.